Here comes the decks.
Hey everyone, Neil here with Nick Conley for commentary of the Shuffle Bus Season 1 Finals. Uh,
Oh yeah. Excited to
which,
be here again for another game with you, Neil. It was great commentating the last game we did, which
yeah,
was
man, it's great to have you on again. This is kind of a big deal for us. I hope it's a big deal for the community too.
mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, what a day of ashes. There's a lot going on.
yep, because you were on Team Covenant stream today.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to watch it, but I plan on going to watch the VOD um, for an
Yeah.
interview. So anybody that is checking this out and interested in that, it's on the Team Covenant Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, and they were previewing Jericho cards and trying out the pre-con there, so cool to see things rocking and rolling on the physical side of Ashes, but here we are in the finals. I've been really excited to see this Rimea deck in
yeah,
action.
obviously, um, Stefanos has been playing this deck for a long time because this was a deck he played through the AIL as well, which
Right.
went back through like November. um,
So lots of practice, and I'm not sure how much refining has gone into the deck, um, just iterations over the tournaments or not, but I know the concept has remained quite the same and powerful.
I think the list is very similar. I don't have the
Mhm.
AIL list, but obviously we
Right.
have this list,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that it has Emperor Lion in it. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean, this is a powerful Emperor line too. Tutoring for Laws of Fear can just be such a shutdown against wide, low attack swarm strategies. It is just,
Which Carl will not be implying in this match,
that's
employing in
true.
this
We
match,
see
but the
Maeoni.
the first like come into play effect on Law of Fear is good against Snake at the beginning.
Oh yeah, you can exhaust the snake before
Hey,
it gets any status token.
gents, I'm sorry to interrupt. The chat has asked if we would be willing to rotate the view so that it's horizontal. So Carl will be on the top and
Yeah, absolutely.
Stefanos will be on the bottom. So I said, yep, I would make sure to interrupt you guys for that.
I get it. Kind of centered here. Okay.
So yeah, Maeoni seems to have been all the rage in competitive play these days. Turns out building a giant silver snake and blowing up all your opponent's stuff and getting through has been pretty successful. So
Yeah, a lot of the decks that we saw at the top of our tournament were like big cheeky attacker types. Whether I mean Snake obviously is great at that, but even just like massive growth decks with Bearer, Mind Fog,
oh
that kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
thing.
Any evasion ability that can help get those super attack buffs through consistently are looking to be a big threat to the game. Um, okay, so we got the rolls, and looks like Rimea is going first.
Yep, it looks like Carl wants the
Carl's choice.
round two top of
Hey,
round.
I agree with that. Anytime you see an opponent's list with Neils and Meteors and Law of Fears as those top of round control tools, you're going to want every top of round you have to get some damage in. So top of round one doesn't matter because nothing's set up yet, but as soon as you hit top of round two, control decks are really hoping to start controlling at the top of each of those rounds and set the tone.
Right. I'm very interested. Obviously, we don't have hand cams, but I'm interested to see what Carl first fives, uh,
Mm-hmm.
because he has a lot of you know stuff going on in his deck. The last match I commentated on him, he first fived Frostfang, which I was really
Yeah,
interesting. Probably not very good in this match, but um,
yeah, the one Frostfang is really cool with the command strike right away. You got a side action 3 damage threat. Can hit a number of things, and if Stefanos is going for Emperor Lion, we could still see the Frostfang Command Strike be used to take down that unit quite efficiently.
Right. So we saw him start with a Purge, look at the top 3 of Carl's deck, and then play an Abundance and look at the top 3 of his own.
So we were just getting those classic mill tools down.
Yep. The Purge with the Rimea ability is interesting, right? That's something that Stefanos talks about a lot.
Yeah, you get the surgical removal of 1 of 3 cards, possibly more, depending on how often they're filtering through those cards in the middle of the round.
It's an interesting take on this, because obviously it's something that he wants to be doing already, is activating the Purge, but getting to essentially eat their best card without having to pay into the Rimea ability.
Yeah.
So then we got a Gilder, pretty standard, 3-eyed owl.
Right, so yep, Carl laying the books down.
Yeah, the 3-eyed owl is a one of, and I haven't seen Carl use it very much in the matches I've seen up to this point. It's interesting. Like obviously the mill deck fights on a different kind of axis.
3-eyed owl might definitely level that out if Rimea's control gets out of hand and the snake can't get through. Any resource game Carl's able to play there with the owl will certainly help.
So it looks like he drew second Purge off of the Abundance.
Second Purge, so that
speeds up the clock pretty fast.
Yeah, so we can just sink that many extra dice.
Because not only does he have 2 activations of it now, he has the double activation off the focus.
Yep, so as much dice as can be afforded, we'll probably see go into those purges, especially opening one in your first 5. I'd imagine Stefanos is planning to mill hard and fast. Bit scary to see no books, but Rimea does have a unique tool with the Ancestral Army to summon 3 blockers in 1 main action. So
and
maybe
Ancestral Army is one of the most efficient units in the game. It has such like anti-synergy with her 4 battlefield.
Right, yeah. But it's a unique twist for a Control Phoenixborn to suddenly slam the battlefield with an army out of nowhere. So
and you'll see Stefanos. I think he only has 2 copies, but he just makes blockers. Yeah, he's got 2 copies.
Love it.
So we have our first snake.
The snake is out, and any army that gets summoned is possibly going to be feeding that snake.
Yep, the army does feed the snake quickly. And he doesn't. There's not really any cards in Stefanos' deck that just deal with the snake. Like, obviously, if he hits the Law of Fear right now, it's good, or he can kneel it. But obviously, Meteor doesn't handle it very well.
Anything could happen with the abundance draws there. I do not know what cards are in hand still to this point. I would imagine an Emperor Lion was in the first 5, but who knows? Still a lot of Divine Dice left.
Yeah, maybe I should just back this up a little bit so I can see the hands. Just the number of cards in hand for the people.
Here comes the Purges.
Yep.
Hitting Crescendo. That's a big card. Those reaction spell removals on attack that's feeding the snake and removing one of their potential blockers. Just such a strong card. That's 2 Crescendos in the discard.
The Crescendo specifically in this matchup, I think, is like a little lackluster. I mean, the idea of Crescendo in this deck is great, but the only guys he has are Rosefire Dancer and Ancestral Army. And they're kind of going to do their thing whether they get crescendoed or not.
Well, if we see the Emperor line come down, that's a 3 life target that would be blasted very efficiently by that. And with the cards in hand to discard from Abundance, Carl might be sad to see those crescendos go.
It is a powerful card for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Those little 1 life units, that's not what you want Crescendo to do.
Yeah, like Crescendo looks pretty sad against Ancestral Army. Just like you spend 2 cards and some dice and kill 1/3 of their card.
Yeah, I think we try and get that done with Gilder Book and
Yeah, Meteor. Like,
Command Strikes, Meteors. Mm-hmm.
I think he has Meteor.
All
Maybe I'm
right.
looking at the wrong list.
Rimea.
No, Nature's Wrath is what he has.
Oh yeah. Carl's not on Meteor, but yeah, of course, Wrath. That picks up 2 of the 2/1s.
So we hit a Golden Veil and a Frostbite on this one.
Ooh, Golden Veil's a nice one to throw away too. What tools could Rimea have to hit that? Rosefire Dancers are much more live with Golden Veils going into the discard. There's the Root Armor. Exhaustion being the answer for her.
Right, the Meteor doesn't get there now.
Yep,
he did Owl
Exhaustion
him
is going to be key.
Yeah, he did Owl him, discarding a Return to Soil. Probably a card that doesn't have a lot of...
going to be hard to kill something with that this round.
Yeah, not a lot of play in this matchup, I don't think.
That's a lot of life on a Silver Snake.
Yeah, it's a sticky snake.
And there's the Law of Fear for the Exhaustion.
Yep. Yeah, I kind of figured like starting Law of Fear against Maeoni has to be really good. Like it seemed like a first 5-able card. Just
Still
exactly for this.
It was the yeah. What a perfect way to stop the round 1 threat and try and survive the top of round 2 that much better. Still very excited to see if Summon Emperor Lion comes down. Maybe the threat of Command Strike and Crescendo was too much to bother with the cost of the Emperor Lion and just picking the books or the laws themselves.
Okay, so now we have Explosive Growth on the snake. Just all the stuff on the snake.
Alterations.
Yeah, that Law of Fear.
So we have a 4/5 armored 1 snake that just got exhausted at just the right time for Stefanos with the Law of Fear. Carl still chilling on 3 dice. Command Strike unable to use the Silver Snake now that it's exhausted. Even more just pure value coming from exhaustion as a counter to the Silver Snake in this matchup.
Yeah, there just isn't a lot that Carl can do in this situation, right? Like, even if he could Command Strike, it's just not very effective for the same reasons that Crescendo isn't very effective. If he's not playing Emperor Lion, there's just nothing to shoot.
Yeah, where's the targets?
And
Stefanos' damage isn't going to be coming from setting up that battlefield threat. So if Carl's best tools are removal on the battlefield, they're just not going to hit things and hit the investments quite the same way. But Abundance was clicked, so there are 2 new cards in Carl's hand that may have been curated by Rimea Purge shenanigans. I haven't been deck tracking that hard, but there's still a possibility.
He definitely activated the Rimea ability before Abundance the first time. What happened here?
Carl spent 2 basic for
Command Strike his own.
Hold on. How did he get the unexhaust? I think we might be going backwards. Yep.
We backing this up. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, I think there might have been a gameplay error in there. If we can get into chat with them all. I'm not sure that was a legal Command Strike, if that's what we did see.
I'm going to stop him here.
Looks like they took... Where's the Gilder? All right, there's the Gilder. Yep. Cool.
Okay.
All right, we're square. So Carl unable to use the 2 basic dice left over, and Stefanos chilling on a divine die, so no full spending of resources there, but that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, a turn like that I think is just great for Stefanos, right? Like just like
Felt like
nothing
power
happened,
movement.
and
Yeah, you're at full health.
we
That's a good place to be.
and the snake is 4 power. Like that's obviously big, but it's not like crazy snake big. So we're not really
Second explosive growth here could really pump up the attack value of a snake. I know it discards another copy of explosive growth, but it will be putting the tokens on. So there's some real in there. Oh, side action. Command strike the Gilder for 2 extra attack.
Yep. So he gets in there for 6.
Whacking for 6.
Just because he knows that he like won't get another chance probably.
Yeah, you got to convert the damage when you can, especially at those top of rounds. It's the most exposed time in a game of Ashes, the top of the round before the other person gets to act with their new dice. So very nice on Carl's end there, getting some extra damage too.
Right, that Gilder's not going to do anything this match, so just spending 3.5 dice to put a counter on. Not a great rate, but better than nothing.
Every bit of damage will be helpful when you're facing a control deck here. So since you don't need to spend dice on removal and keeping up defenders yourself, sometimes those inefficient plays are still the most efficient way to go to damage.
Woof.
The triple purge is down, and
so
taking a look at
he's got
the deck, Carl has 11 cards left already to a healthy 20 in Stefanos' deck.
Obviously, it's possible he can't just use purge the whole time, because that's a lot of dice to commit. But if he has the dice efficiency to do that, then like he's got him dead like the following turn. Yeah,
that damage can add up super quickly. That deck's going to go down, and if we can see the abundances on time too, start clicking, and the damage goes up. Okay, explosive in the bin. The Frostback Bear pivot in the bin.
Yeah, he obviously chose the 3-eyed instead of Frostback Bear this game.
Great, 3-eyed owl coming down for putting pressure on the resources. And I'm looking at Carl's deck here, and I don't believe I see any unexhaust effects present. So no way for that snake to get multiple attacks in with a surprise refresh or flute mage, anything like that. So
yeah, he doesn't have the unexhaust. If Carl's gonna win, it's gonna be through attacks for 6 like that. I can't imagine that after the number of times he's activated Rimea and has the abundance though that he won't have a kneel for beginning of round 3.
That's true. So Stefanos looking great at the top of round 3. Good call. And I love what I'm noticing about Stefanos' play here. Just not committing any units to the battlefield, the snake can't grow. Every status token on the silver snake was forced onto it by Carl. And I think that's just a great read on the power of the silver snake. It relies on your opponents to commit stuff that's going to be in range of your units. So why put out blockers that Carl is prepared to kill when you can instead just go straight for the deck? I think that's so cool.
Right. And specifically because he doesn't start the Frostback Bear, he essentially has no attackers besides Snake. Like, I guess he could draw the Frostfang, but Stefanos is just like okay taking 6 from the Snake or 8 from the Snake a couple times, and looks like we had a really early pass there.
It's not enough. Okay, yeah, double pass with plenty of dice, plenty of purges left over.
I think that's probably good for Carl. To have that pass there without activating the abundance or 2 purges.
Yeah, every round is another chance for that snake to get in, or Carl wants the top of round just as much as Stefanos wants the top of round. So those early passes, we really see how the resource game changes when the matchups are so unique like this.
Right. When we're
against two battlefield heavy decks, I don't think we'd ever think to see something like that, but this is quite a different game.
yeah, so
Neil coming down.
this is what we were talking about, like we just knew he had the Neil, right? There was just no way he hadn't seen it yet in the 10 cards he looked at or whatever before drawing these.
Yeah, and I like the 2 Neil in the deck. With all of that deck filtering, 2 Neils with reliability of finding them is probably better than 3 of them that could possibly clog your hand. Just a nice smooth number of Neils here with the Rimea abilities.
They don't stack well.
Nope.
I mean, he definitely
you need one.
He definitely wants one, 2 rounds from now. Assuming that the game is still going at that point, but the Neil's going to be much less impactful next round when Carl has top. So, like you're saying, there's some TTS things going on.
Whoops. More owls. That's a full battlefield for Carl, and plenty of dice to spend. I wonder how he will make use of them. Looking at his deck, there's the possibility of getting burned in through frostbites, and Essence Druid could pull back some of those milled things. Maybe getting the Frostback Bear back in action could be a great unit for some extra threat with this Silver Snake going to be locked down by exhaustion.
Yeah, it's just this Rimea deck just fights on an axis that is very unique to the mill strategy. And
Double Purge is knocking out 2 more cards, big ones, Golden Veil and Explosive Growth. Explosive Growth is
that's like one of the ways that Carl wins.
Yeah, so excellent call milling those with Rimea. Very, very impressive.
So yeah, it's looking kind of rough here.
Oh, that's
he discarded a towel, yeah. So it's interesting, like he has the 3 purges, but he doesn't have the ability to activate all 3 purges on this turn because he kneeled.
Oh yeah, only 3 charm dice, huh?
Right, it's mostly divine, which I think is interesting. So he's gonna purge again.
Backbone, but we don't have that here. Purging.
There's the Frostfang. There's the Golden Veil.
No, those are coming from hand. Yeah. I'm not sure what I'm seeing.
Are we meditating here? Oh, I think it was just a TTS bug, where like he just kind of picked all that stuff up instead of discarding it. So that
those inputs.
That looked like a pass.
More Rimea action.
Yeah, so he'll get to activate Abundance here. Obviously, Carl will draw the worst 2 of the 3 cards.
That's right. The perfect setup. And let's see if Stefanos has any way to sink these 4 dice while Carl looks to get something going on the board. Playing another Gilder Book. That's some self-removal with the unit ping. So we can definitely.
Unfortunately, his guys are all two or bigger, so it's going to take both books to clear a space.
At this point, dice are the least needed resource. We have a surplus of dice. So, yeah, despite efficiency, we are playing on a different axis here. Carl's deck down to 3 cards. The range of Purge is just coming in and destroying things. And I think we see a Meditate for an illusion die. Is it another Abundance coming down?
It must be, yeah.
It is.
Yep.
Abundance number 2 is ready.
Yep.
Maeoni still got a lot of life to punch through, even with fatigue damage coming in pretty soon.
Right. The thing about it here is that Carl doesn't actually need to play any cards. So the purges are going to have to do all the work. But I think that at 3 cards in his pile that we're kind of at that juncture where it's going to be good enough.
Yeah, I think
since we saw the other
won't click Abundance and just try and get the actual purges, the mills done before giving Carl options for the late game.
Right.
You want to do your raw mill first and then convert abundance into damage.
Right. Having seen both other explosive growths go by, I don't know if there's an out here for Carl, because he has to swing for, at current snake size, 3 times and get
Yep,
through.
that's right. That's a lot of rounds of fatigue damage too.
And that's assuming that we don't have the Neil, we don't have anything else going on.
Yeah,
and he can,
that proposition is possibly 4 to 6 rounds away, but we'll see.
right.
Carl might be able to get more status tokens.
And there's like a non-zero chance that he gets an owl off the board and makes a Gilder and kills it, and then it's only 2 attacks, but it's still several rounds of doing stuff to kind of get there.
Definitely still a lot of uncertainty there. The Snake book being meted away.
Okay.
And that's Carl's only Silver Snake book possible to be recurred with the Essence Druid. I don't know if we've seen that get picked apart by Rimea yet or not.
So he meditated the Snake book away, which I think is fine. Like, he's just not going to activate Snake book again this game. It's just not going to happen. Or if he could, he's lost, because he'll have a 0 power snake and he just will never get there.
And it's so hard to build up one snake, let alone a fresh snake already. So
right. So and obviously
a peek at the last 3 cards here. So
yeah,
Stefanos should have the remaining information needed to come up with an endgame solution.
So he's gonna abundance.
Going for the abundance,
which I think is okay. I mean,
yeah, there's a possibility of drawing a few heals for Rimea to use with these remaining divine dice. It'd be nice to sink those into something and draw into the final abundance. That seems to be very key here for speeding things up on the fatigue end of things.
Right. It's at this point, the abundances and the purges are gonna kill him at the same rate, I think. So it's using it before the round ends so that he can untap it is probably good.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, this just, it looks just so bad for Carl.
Indeed, which is just, it's an odd sight to see a deck with no units just controlling things so hard right now, but I think that's just brilliant play against the Silver Snake. If you have a pivot that just doesn't want to cooperate with the way Silver Snake wants to play, you got a nice edge.
Right. Carl only has had units with 0 printed power in play this game. Like, and so when your opponent has 0 power, you don't really need to have any life to block.
Yep, just survive as much of that snake as you can. And good thing Carl got the 1 explosive growth at least, but great surgical removal of the other ones. And Carl's got the 3 Gilder books down, so we could see a ping summon a Gilder to just have another possible status token generation.
Right.
This round.
So this round he does have the dice to do that, which would mean going first next round. Oh, that's really good, actually.
Yeah, that's an efficient cleanup.
Because he'll get to put 2 Gilders in play. So this round, does he have enough dice? 1, 2, 3. Command strike. Yes.
Gilder.
So he can shoot all his own owls. The heal actually doesn't matter here because when the snake is 8 power, it's still 2 attacks.
Up to 16. Yep.
So he can put 2 Gilders into play. Well, Command strike 1, put another Gilder into play.
Gilder. Are you talking this round?
Did he play second Nature's Wrath? I think he did. Oh wait, maybe not.
Yeah, I don't see an exhaustion on the Gilder book yet, but we're cleaning stuff up. Was that Gilder ping? Frog ping?
I'm not sure what happened. So.
Yep. Yeah, I think it was Gilder and Nature Power. to make room, because you got to ping one away first because the Gilder comes into play and then deals the damage. So we had to kill something away if we wanted to get the first Gilder value. And
Right.
Gilders seem to be Carl's last chance at getting enough status tokens for a quick enough kill.
Right,
So,
because
definitely respect the Wraths and the pings there.
he still has enough dice this round to command strike his own Gilder again and put another Gilder into play. So top of next round that he has, he can command strike that Gilder and attack for 12. But
where are we getting damage from command strike from, though? The snake's exhausted.
Oh, that's true. We're still in the same situation. So it's only going to be 10. And the difference between 10 and 12 again doesn't matter, because unless it's 16, it's still 2 attacks.
That's right.
So I guess.
But there's more than 2 heals.
Yeah.
I think. Yep, 3 full heals in Stefanos' deck, so going up to 18 could put us back into that devastating range.
One of them was discarded to Owl earlier on.
Yep, that's right, the 3-eyed Owl. So possible 1 more heal left to bring Rimea up to 18. And we are just pinging away.
Okay, so he activated Gilder Book.
Has 1 card left in the deck. I won't say what it was because it reveals itself.
Right, that's such a dumb thing on TTS.
I would love to know how to change that. But 1 card left in Carl's deck to 12 cards left in Stefanos' deck. A great angle for when it comes to fatigue time.
Yeah, so he can potentially kill a Gilder just with regular pings to power it up now, and then top of next round, command strike Gilder attack.
Seems to be the play.
Yeah.
Great use of 3 Gilder books there. It can sometimes be hard to afford those and make use of them in more traditional matchups, but that's just a great damage self-buffing engine we got going on there. Frostbite could do a similar thing too if we see Frostbites come down on Carl's side.
Right. At least 2 of them got purged. I remember seeing that early in the thing. I wish that the spectators could search the discard pile.
Yeah, I would love to be able to flip through there and see what we got. But if there's one person that does know what Carl has access to, it's Rimea.
Okay,
Snake going up to 8 attack. Critical breakpoint for the current numbers.
Yep. So we've piloted Carl to again making the 2 attack win, which we've had for 6 turns or whatever this round. But I still just there's no way he doesn't have the kneel. So we're looking at 3 more rounds before he would get the attack in. Is he going to survive that long?
Yeah, so Carl's going first now. We can do a command strike attack for 10 at the very top. And I'm looking at Stefanos' deck, and I don't see a way to attack Carl's hand. So getting manual fatigue damage in is going to be tough. Is this all going to have to be done with abundance clicks? That's true. Be a lot of time. That's going to be a lot of time.
Even if he plays the 3rd abundance, it's still 4 rounds, right? Yeah, 6 at a time.
It's still anybody's game, I think. The threat's coming up, and no 3-eyed Owl for Stefanos to leverage. But even if there was Owl, would you even play it against the Snake? We've seen the no unit strategy pay off so much so far. There's the command strike. Grabbing the 5th status token and whacking for 10. There it is, Rimea down to 6 life.
Yeah, I guess in a vacuum, not knowing their hands or anything, the 4 turns of abundance is slower than the get kneeled and then attack again.
Yeah, it's
2 rounds of Snake.
Not next round, but the following round, round 6, Carl could have the win, and that's a lot of abundance clicks away. Is it enough?
Yeah, because at 10 power, there's just no way that he's not going to get to 11. So the snake
Yep.
is going to be lethal for the
Can't
remainder of the game.
heal out. And there is a possibility that by the top of round 6, Stefanos could switch over to a battlefield strategy to just have regular blockers. I don't know if Carl has seen the hypnotize yet, or if that got milled away, but
I didn't see the hypnotize. That's what I was gonna say is
I think
that
you might have it.
Since Snake is lethal for the remainder of the game, not playing units is not valuable anymore. Like,
That's right.
it doesn't matter if the Snake is infinity now because it's more than 6. So
Simply landing an attack is all Carl needs.
FYI, guys, the hypnotize was milled away early.
Hypnotize was milled away. Okay, Essence Druid. Do we have Essence Druid in the discard pile? Key card here to pivot to Frostbite or Hypnotize. We see the last Frostbite get knocked into the discard pile from Purge.
yeah, I don't even think the Frostbites would do it at this point. That would be too slow when racing the abundance. Okay, so we pitch a Law of Fear that is essentially meaningless at this point. I guess he could. I guess there's like an outside chance that Carl makes an owl and playing a Law of Fear would be good, but that's like
at that point the owl got your card anyways,
right?
And your die. So
yep, it's interesting where we're at here. Like
now, there is still more damage sources for Rimea here. Stefanos runs 3 Summon Orchidove, which are primed to just convert into damage now with the discard pile empty. So with Abundance, we actually have the threat for a lot more faster damage to come. Will it be fast enough? Does Stefanos have all of those? We don't know.
yeah, the Orchid Dove being essentially just like more copies of Abundance is good if he decides to play it. I mean, he has to have something in his hand, right? Okay, so
Law of Fear coming down, exhausting the owl.
And the Orchid Dove, is that blocker that you were talking about. Obviously,
that's right.
It's just a 0/1 now, because the milling doesn't matter. But
that's all you need to block a snake here. No bypass abilities accessed yet, but I have a feeling that Essence Druid might be coming. Carl's showing the dice for one.
Oh, there's the Orchid Dove.
The doves are coming. Here they come.
So the Orchid Dove is kind of interesting. How many Orchid Doves are there in the Conjuration pile?
There are 3.
3.
So, yeah, possible. Let's see. 7 cards left in Stefanos' deck. Possibility of not finding the critical focus 2 on the Summon Orchid Dove yet. So we got to be digging if we want to get that online this round with our surplus of dice.
Yeah, I mean, he's got plenty of dice that he can Rimea himself and pay into it until almost infinitum, like just till he finds it.
Now, if we wanted to get really frivolous with our spending, you can purge your own draw pile.
Right. Okay, so Rosefire Dancer gets Ice Trapped.
Ooh, and that's a token for 6 attack should the explosive growth ever get knocked off somehow. I don't think that's possible. No Dispel in Stefanos' list, so just a little bonus one and keeping that Rosefire off the table.
Yeah, Carl just wants to run up the score in the case that he gets to attack again.
And crucial interaction with the Rosefire Dancer. A lot of exhaustion effects can't exhaust things that are already exhausted, but here's a card that can. So I love the threat of Rosefire Dancer taking a round where you were able to kneel or otherwise exhaust their stuff down, and then just push it one more round further with the Rosefire Dancer, which you can play a lot safer once you do have those kneel boards up, you know?
Right. And I find it kind of interesting that he decided to commit the Rosefire Dancer this round, because like you were saying, it's a lot better in the rounds that you go first so that you can double exhaust something going into the round that your opponent has top around.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that was Stefanos' play to, if we don't have Neil for the top of next round, there's our exhaustion for next round. So feel like Neil might not be in hand right now. There's definitely at least 2 golden veils in Carl's discard I saw get milled away. And Carl is showing a charm die, so possible for that Rosefire Dancer to be canceled too.
Right. And
but
Carl's trying to meditate something here.
Yep.
I'm not sure what.
Is that thinking about what card to get rid of? Good stuff all around. Carl is thinking pitching a Guilt Link to get a frog.
That's kind of interesting too. I mean, he must really want that frog. Guilt Link is a card that, I guess, does it only get counters from attacks?
That's right. So
okay, so this is never going to be turned on. Yeah,
it's never going to happen. I'm super curious about the Essence Druid still. Another thing that could just be put down, possibly even attack and clear something away.
Yeah, even just being an actual 2-attack unit is like kind of important here.
Yeah, units that do stuff, super premium right now. And a heal.
Okay, so the Essence Druid attack is like a lot less important now, where it's 4 rounds and that's shorter than the abundance clock. But obviously the snake is still lethal forever. I'm not even sure that healing is good, because his Stefanos' deck is under some pressure too with the owls in play.
That's right. We do have to be mindful of our hand here. Let's see, 5 cards remaining in Rimea's deck, 4 in hand. Carl needs to take abundance damage, I believe. Did that happen with the abundance?
I think that it's right, because he's taken 4 and 2 abundance activated.
Yep. All right. Looks good.
Okay, so he Rimea'd himself.
All right. Come on, the self-purge for main action stalling and filtering your deck. I love it.
I think that would be a little bold with the double owl in play. Like, just...
Yes,
and when he can spend the basic
5
dice.
cards. Yeah, 5 cards in deck and the abundances will get us the draw there.
when he has the basic dice that he can just pay into the Rimea to like put it on the bottom instead of in his discard pile. You know, once he does that, then he can't Rimea anymore. But
yeah, we effectively see everything we should need to on Stefanos' side. Passing over to Carl.
Okay.
And that's the round. Okay.
Carl immediately moves his cursor to remove exhaustion from Snake.
Yeah. Gotta get that. Let's see.
He just like leaves the exhaustion on the Maeoni and the 3-eyed owl book. He's just so excited to get it off the Snake.
Sweet relief.
I don't think it'll last very long.
How interesting to see a game of Ashes decided over the course of like maybe only 2 or 3 or 4 attacks the entire game.
Right. This will
And,
be
yep.
he hit for 14. Yep, that's right. I think.
Yeah, we did. We hit for 6 and then 8, or was it 4
No,
the first
six
time?
and then 10.
10. Yeah, it was 10. There's the Neil.
Yep. Just like we drew it up.
Just one of the most defining cards in Ashes, has been since its release and continues to be in Reborn.
It is a hell of a card for sure.
One of the just heaviest cards to lean on if you want to play a controlling strategy. Just locking down any previous round setup when you get the top of the round is just as strong as an aggro deck's ability to attack at the top of the round.
Yep. Yep, it just puts you in 2 colors to start with. But
fair price to pay.
Yeah. Obviously it's very, very strong.
Okay, so this round.
Our Rimea ourselves.
And oh yeah, this Law of Fear should be out of here.
Yeah.
And the deck getting a little bit of a fix. 4 cards left. We will see all of them with Abundance, so we can expect the full suite of Abundance and Orchid Dove giving us 9 bird damage. Did I say bird damage? Maybe I meant burn damage.
Orchid Dove's a bird.
It's kind of the same thing. Bird damage.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah, so 9 damage in the pocket there. I wonder how many Rosefire Dancers we're at. Stefanos runs the full 3, so if there's still a Rosefire Dancer to go, that could be the key to shutting down Carl's last round to get the upfront attack. We've seen
right, and
Neils.
I think that we saw. I guess he has 3 ice traps. I know I've seen 2. I don't know if he has a third one or not.
I couldn't tell you, but open deck lists seem to be everything in this matchup. Just counting on every last chance you have to get your attack.
When both players essentially on like seeing their entire pile already, like you should have a pretty good idea of what we're at.
Yep, and Carl is on 3 ice traps. If we've only seen 2 in the discard, that is a key shutdown.
Right, so
the likelihood of illusioning.
So there's a couple things
down is low
that can happen here. Okay, so he's got all the doves. So there's some damage and more importantly some blockers, because having the Rosefire Dancer is good. I mean, that's really good because you just kind of guarantee the no snag attack. But if you make 2 or potentially 3 blockers, if there's an ice trap, you still get to block the snake, but it can't just be 1. And he has to play this weird game where he has to wait out the Gilders. Because he can't just jam doves into the Gilders.
That's right. And with all those nature dice and all those main actions, I don't know if Stefanos will be able to stall that out entirely. So still waiting on that Rosefire Dancer play. But either way, we'll see how many blockers Stefanos is able to stick on the board against the Command Strike top of round attack that could win Carl the game.
If he has it's kind of interesting that if he has a Ancestral Army that like essentially does it, because that's too many life to get killed by the books.
Yeah, you got the 2 life on the ally body. Stefanos spending an illusion die. I wonder if this is the dice power to hit those nature dice, or Golden Veil's another card that can shut down the Rosefire. So Ice Trap and Golden Veil stopping that potential line. Stefanos is certainly going to have to go the blocker route and hope that Carl doesn't have the Essence Druid for Hypnotize. No idea if the Essence Druid is still in the game, though. So
yeah,
Carl needs a battlefield space to do that too. which is accessible.
Yeah, it's not very accessible because if he starts gildering his guys, then has less gilders to stop the birds.
But the birds don't matter if Hypnotize hits the table.
That's true.
And Carl would need to roll 2 charm dice to use Hypnotize at the top of the round. Should Stefanos have one more way to stop the snake. So still
Right,
hard to
because
call it
Hypnotize
either
is
way.
a side action,
Lots
so he
going on.
can't meditate into it.
That's right. You got to get the nice roll too.
He's better than average to hit 2 hearts though on 3 charm
Yeah.
dice.
Yep, you should get it.
That would be a bad beat, actually. if that's the line, and then he rolls 2 basics on his
Should Carl be on 11 or 10 now?
He said, "Did
11?
I take 2?" I don't think he's taken. I don't think he can be in an odd number.
The Orchid Dove.
Did he activate Orchid Dove? Because none of them are exhausted.
What was that one from? I'm trying to remember. Oh, 1 fatigue damage at the top of the round.
There you go. Yep, that'll do
Carl
it.
had 4 cards in hand. I can't remember. I think Carl broke into fatigue damage though.
Whoa. Apparently I put on a blindfold. How do I stop that?
B.
Sorry, chat. Trying to type and then
11 is correct. I'm hearing from Matt Bowers, who's also watching the game.
Okay.
So I think we're good to go. Confused.
See, he was also confused at the odd life, just like me.
Yep, we are in fatigue. All right, and 3 more coming with Orchid Doves.
Carl is a math professor, so I'm sure he just didn't like that odd numbers when he's taking it 2 at a time.
Right. Okay, so did you see what that illusion die was spent for on the Rimea side? Looks like the nature dice spin down just to congest those possible ice traps and gilder setups, maybe force some kind of meditation that Carl doesn't want to do. Every card matters this late in the game.
Right. Any meditation is good here.
And some dove pressure with the divine dice power. Speeding it up. I love it.
Yep, there's your bird damage right there.
Bird damage.
Yep.
That's great. Definitely capitalized on the fact that the dove didn't get pinged the turn it came down. I don't know if Carl will let that happen again with 1 more divine die showing. And here comes the birds. Yep. So
I'm pretty sure Orchid Dove is like one of my very favorite artworks in the game.
Oh yeah.
This has nothing to do with the commentary, obviously, but I just think that the wings and the orchid flower pattern is very cool.
Yeah, really pretty stuff from early on in Ash's history.
Right, that was
good stuff.
One of
the earlier expansions. Yeah, it was when we were doing the mono dice expansions. So, and there's a nature die picking up the bird. Do not let that divine damage get through again.
Whoops, TTS stuff. Why did the owl die? Oh, maybe it didn't. Maybe it was just TTS stuff.
All right, the gilder. Okay, now we're. Okay, we had a frog ping and a gilder die. So ping
nature dice your own owl and then gilder.
Gilder to kill the bird.
Yep.
Excellent. And that Gilder's ready to block should another Divine Bird come swinging. So can only get one of those through, I guess.
So now we're in a situation where he still has the Gilder books. Like the Gilders themselves don't matter very much. The Owls are actually better than the Gilder here, since we're on no pile for either player. But he still has the books to kill the owl or the orchids. But we only have enough dice to make. I guess he could make an ancestral army and still make the last orchid, and then he would have enough units.
That's what I'm thinking is likely to happen here. Carl's just super pinched for meditation,
because we're definitely off the dancer plan now.
Yeah, I think Carl has all the answers in back for Rosefire Dancer. You got that right.
Well, he just spent all his charm dice. He couldn't even play the dancer if he had it.
That's an illusion card, actually, so we could.
It's an illusion card?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. -1 life. Oh, yeah. More bird damage. Bird damage.
The bird damage gets through down to 7, so still looking like 3 clicks of abundance.
Okay, so we have a meditate.
2 abundance, 2 bird. Getting the frogs. Is it molten time?
He doesn't have molten golds.
No.
No molten golds in Carl's deck. So.
All right, and just pinging away stuff.
He's deciding which of his units he wants to frog ping.
Yeah, careful with that ancestral army coming up. I think you want the real blockers. But Carl's still going to need a little more time to do frog ping plus last Gilder. We need another nature die meditation, so those books are getting thrown away.
This is like the most tense board state with no attackers.
I know. The resource counts have just been devastating, and with the open deck list, just knowing exactly what tools you need to keep. All right, just got a little debate between players on what happened there. I think we're all good. I saw the meditate the book into killed the dove 2.
They Gildered a dove and meditated. That was the turn, I believe.
There was an open battlefield spot for that Gilder to enter in from last turn?
I'm not sure. We'll see what I'm sure that Carl and Stefanos can figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's spent Gilder.
Gilder ping, and now a second Gilder were the nature dice.
Yep. Okay, so he put a damage on Owl that shouldn't have been there. Is where we're at. That's what the guys are saying anyway.
Yeah. Hey, and I mean that's exactly the spot of the board we were talking about with 2 nature dice left. We were thinking possible ping the Owl, summon the
What was this
ping the
dice
Owl to
meant
make room
for?
and summon the Gilder. Which die?
The charm. Did he make an owl this turn?
The charm die?
Yeah, I think he made an owl this turn because he just meditated away Owl book recently.
Yeah, and that was
so
exhausted.
Owl,
So I think
Gilder, side ping.
And a frog ping, yep.
Does that
add up? Got to be thorough with these details. These are the moments where games are made and lost in ashes. That's a crescendo in Carl's hand. I don't know if this is a attack just to get some pings and clear some space.
I The crescendo is interesting because it can kill the dove, like, but it puts him on 3 fatigue damage.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to be.
I guess it doesn't matter. His whole goal is just to get the snake through first action. So
It has to happen, huh?
unless it's 7 fatigue damage, I don't think he cares.
Sure.
So maybe the crescendo is good because it converts that gilder into an additional removal spell that doesn't require a frog.
Yeah, that's a good point. Use that sympathy die. Use every resource you can, but that golden veil's got to stay back.
Right. This is the part where he has to commit to possibly getting ice trapped because he needs to decide between army and dancer. Assuming he has those cards.
Army do it? Carl's still looking at possible. We know the crescendo. We know the frog ping. Possible meditate for another gilder ping. That could fully remove the entire ancestral army, leaving the one orchid dove for a command strike attack.
Yeah,
Carl might have it.
I agree. I don't think that ancestral army is enough here. It has to be dancer, and there has to not be a golden veil.
I don't think either of those states are true.
Right.
You hate to see it.
Let's look at the list here.
Tiny thing. I think Carl's got all the stuff set up to get through.
It's like possible that he could. No, that doesn't work either. Yeah, I guess here's where we see if he has the ice trap. Oh no, playing abundance.
Going abundance. What can we do with our 2 dice?
So now we're off of the dancer for sure. This will put him at 5.
All right, full meditation.
Put him at 4, I guess.
And is that a past main action from Carl? Click in abundance. All right. Rimea immune to all damage with the fully focused abundances.
I think he's dead.
Yep.
I think he's dead. Yep.
Offering the GG. What a game.
Wow. I'm gonna tell him to reveal hands because I want to see what they had.
Yeah, so Carl was on probably Golden Veil, Ice Trap, Crescendo, and Essence Druid is what I was gathering.
So he did have the army and the dancer.
Hammer and the army, yep. Meteor not able to make anything happen.
Right,
here.
Meteor not very impactful. In fact, probably actively bad to open those slots.
Oh, Crescendo, a Wrath we had.
Oh, well, this was Wraths. Nature's Wrath was going to be good, and he had the thing. Yep. So
no Golden Veil.
So had he? Oh, but he had the ice trap to cover the dancer. So.
And there wasn't a way to illusion die Carl away from nature dice. The Wraths would have been devastating against those armies.
Right. That would have made the army pings easy. Yep. He just had the number of blockers covered.
Expertly played by both players. That was such a great game. 2 very distinct play styles just kind of clashing in this matchup. That was super cool to see. The unitless Rimea milling away and the Silver Snake just getting 3 big enough attacks through. Very cool.
Yeah, that was expertly played by Carl, showing that.
I gotta run. So we'll see you. Good games, Carl. Excellent game to watch. Thank you, guys.
Bye, Jess. I'll shut the stream down when we're done here.
Later.
Yeah, it was just showing that the Carl had been essentially milled for 2 whole rounds, and just kind of like. He saw the goal of 2 snake attacks and just had to survive, knowing that the 2 snake attacks was still faster than the 4 rounds of abundance activation.
Yeah, Carl played for every single attack pacing to matter. And just remarkable use of the Purge here. That was just a destroyer of the deck from the early on. First turn Purge, not something you see a whole lot. So loved that. It was very effective and very, very cool.
Yeah, the extremely interesting game. Just so good.
All right, looks like they're just kind of talking through the game here.
We have Warrior Poet in our chat asking why end round too early, why that early pass. And I think at that juncture, both players are just pretty happy with the board state because Carl wants the shortest turns possible. And at that time, Stefanos was at high enough life that
giving Carl a way to spend dice didn't sound very good.
Right. And as we saw, the Purge was good for half the game, and then it stopped being good.
Yep, it did its job. And Purge being probably the game-making card versus choosing a similar card, Orchid Dove. Had Orchid Doves been brought in the beginning, we would have seen a massive snake attack a lot sooner, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about because it would have to get to 10 before it's actually better than what happened. Because 7 power is like the 3 attack range, right? Which is where we were at. It was 6, 10, infinity.
Yep.
And so if he had played Orchid Dove early, could the Orchid Dove, like maybe the Orchid Dove made it bigger, but could they have blocked one?
That's a good question.
It's funny that like
with the sheer amount of removal that Carl had available and was just investing into killing his own stuff, I have a feeling that those doves would have just been easy food for the snake.
I agree with
rats, Gilders, everything.
I agree with that for the most part. I think that in general, if he had started Orchid Dove, we would have seen Carl's board be Gilders and not owls, and I don't know how that affects the game because he didn't have any Gilders in play ever because he always had owls in play. But if there are Orchid Doves in play, he's going to be making Gilders just to use the Gilder, and
then less in pressure from the owl. Totally
right. So it's. I think that's still probably worse for Stefanos.
Yeah, and one wrath could change the whole situation.
Oh, right, and you're just running into Nature's Wrath.
Yep. Not a good look, I think. So very, very impressed by the Purge first 5. I think we have Stefanos' first 5 listed out here. With the Meteor maybe trying to...
The Meteor's interesting. I mean, obviously he had it in his hand the entire game because he never played one. I hope that we'll get to do some interviews with both these guys to put up on YouTube for the channel. I don't think it's going to happen today, but...
Sure, yeah. It'd be great to get some of the player insight on what went down this game because it was such a unique game of Ashes.
Right. On top of being very skillfully played on both sides, it was like just not a game you ever see.
Yeah, we see these different archetype defining cards just totally breaking the standards of typical gameplay that you might see. This mill heavy deck filtering control Phoenixborn versus the Super Snake strategy. Just such an interesting clash. But thanks so much for having me on as a commentator here. It's great to see what's going on in the competitive community. And
yeah, we love to have you. I mean, I love commentating with you. I think we have a great time. I mean, this was a big match for us as a channel. I hope it's a big match for everybody in the community. And honestly, like whenever you're on, we get twice as many views as normal. So thank you for that.
Anytime. It's a real pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I think we're going to close it down here, guys. Like I said, I hope that we will get some player interviews for these two gentlemen. we'll definitely have an article if we
Mhm.
don't have the interviews.
Sounds
But
great.
thanks everybody that stayed on for the stream. Thanks for the follows. We appreciate follows. We appreciate subs. You guys are too good to us. And we'll be back tomorrow night at the regular time. I assume Jesse will be doing some more complaining about Turtle. And we'll go from there. So thanks everyone. I hope you enjoyed the tournament. Give us any feedback on social media or in the Discord about the tournament or just the channel in general. But that's all we got. Have a nice night.
Peace.